Viewers, as we speak, Israel and Lebanon are holding the highest level direct talks in more than 30 years in Washington. The two sides are represented by the ambassadors to the US and with the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio present. The talks mediated by Washington come at a very crucial juncture. On the one hand, Hezbollah opposes direct talks. On the other, the Lebanon hopes that these talks will pave the way to an end to the war. Meanwhile, Iran has set ending the wars in Lebanon as a region, as a condition, in fact, for the entire region, as well as for talks with the United States. But whether these talks will actually yield results remains to be seen. What's really at stake over here? The first is the prevention of escalation between Hezbollah and Israel. Secondly, there's border security and Iran-America ceasefire terms that could be set with this. In terms of the humanitarian situation as well, the infrastructure damage in Lebanon, and certainly, of course, attempts at repairing that. Now, while Iran backs Hezbollah, the talks can impact its strategic role as well in the region. Escalation can further add pressure to global trade, is certainly one of the big concerns. Now, as far as the Washington talks are concerned, what Lebanon wants is advancing a ceasefire framework, prerequisite for a sustained dialogue, complete end to Israeli hostility as well. What Israel is seeking is formal negotiations for peace and direct talks with the Lebanese government and no ceasefire with Hezbollah. Now, why is Lebanon the sticking point? Let's try and understand this. There are two separate theaters of this big war that's taking place. Israel versus Hezbollah is, of course, one aspect of it. US is not active in the Lebanon strikes. There's also the ambiguity of the ceasefire because Iran and Pakistan have said that the deal includes Lebanon. US and Israel, on the other hand, have de-linked Lebanon war along with what's happening in Iran. What are the current proxies as far as Iran is concerned? Israel says that Hezbollah is still a threat. Israel has sought to end Iran's influence in the region as well. But Iran, can it really stay out of this is a big question because Hezbollah is its strategic arm and Iran fears losing regional leverage. All right, there's breaking news coming in. Iran-linked ships have been seized by the US military as part of its blockade of Iranian ports and will be taken to a holding area in the Arabian Sea or the Indian Ocean while a permanent location is worked out, according to two US officials. As the latest update coming in as far as the situation in the Middle East, particularly the Strait of Hormuz, is concerned. All right, for more on this, joining me at the moment is Ibrahim Mneimneh, who's a member of the Lebanese parliament. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim, for speaking to us here at Times Now. And let me first begin by asking you, what can you tell us about the extent of damage in terms of livelihood, homes and lives lost in Lebanon? What's happening on ground?
Well, the situation is that we have more than 1.2 million people displaced. The most and the highest concentration of the displaced are in Beirut. We are seeing that the Israelis are demolishing the residence and the houses of the civilians, left, right, and center without any discrimination. They are targeting civilians. They are targeting bridges and infrastructure, civilian infrastructures, which is against international humanitarian law. And unfortunately, this concentration of displaced is causing a lot of pressure on the social and physical infrastructure of the capital specifically, and is increasing the polarization and with high concerns of tensions within the society, Lebanese society. So the situation is very fragile and it's very critical.
How much of Lebanon do you believe Israel has a presence in at the moment? Because we know that Israel has advanced way across the border by several kilometers.
Well, we're not sure of the area, but it seems that they have around 10% of the Lebanese south, and total 10% of the Lebanese territory is currently under occupation. But no one can really verify the extent of the occupation that there is right now. Their presence is there right now.
Now, the government in Lebanon wants to disarm the Hezbollah, so does Israel. And with that in context, what are your expectations with these impending talks?
Well, the decision of disarmament of Hezbollah has been taken at the government level. It's a sovereign decision by the government, by the Lebanese state. and it's as per our Taif Accord and as per the International Security Council resolutions. And it's taking a bit of time. The state has tried to initiate the south of Litani. Unfortunately, it wasn't completed north of Litani due to the Israeli aggression.
How do you see Iran's hesitation towards these talks that are taking place currently?
Iran wants to take the Lebanese card and keep it within their negotiation with the Americans. What the Lebanese state is trying to do is to say that no one will negotiate on behalf of the Lebanese people. The only legitimate party that can negotiate is the Lebanese state. And it was declared very clearly by the president and the prime minister that the only legitimate party to do this negotiation is the government, as per our constitution. So the Iranians are trying to hold on to the Lebanese card, and the Lebanese state are trying to regain our sovereign state by declaring that we are the only exclusive negotiating party on behalf of the Lebanese.
And what would you say to those who view Lebanon as part of a proxy nexus for terrorist groups in the region? There are those who believe that this is an axis of evil, so to speak.
No, this has been going on for decades now. The Iranians have tried to create proxies in neighboring countries like Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, and Syria. And unfortunately, these kind of proxies have resulted in undermining the states of those countries and their capacity to govern and their capacity to hold sovereign decisions. It is the way of how the Iranian regime is trying to extend their power beyond their territory at the expense of the citizens and the welfare and the common good of those countries' people. Unfortunately, there have been attempts that didn't take place. Many have tried to really detach those proxies from the connection to the Iranians, but so far they haven't been successful. And they are the most undermining aspect of the Iranians that are causing a lot of damage to our country.
But isn't it true that the Lebanese government has enjoyed Hezbollah support in the past because they have even been made part of the administrative process as part of the government?
It's true. It's true. That has been before the last war and before the last 2023 support front for Gaza. There has been a lot of opposition to our connection to Iran, to Hezbollah's connection, particularly to Iran. That was imposed also on the Lebanese people as a total. The Hezbollah created a kind of constellation of allies who benefited from their power in Lebanon, as well as their financial support. And it has been going on for quite some time now, since 2005. And unfortunately, all attempts of the opposition to regain our sovereign decision was not successful until the last election of President Joseph Aoun.
And has Lebanon established a direct line of contact with the US or Israel, or are you communicating via Iran? What exactly is happening at the moment?
No. There's no direct link connection with the Israelis. We consider Israel as an enemy. The connection with the US is there since forever. The US have been also a mediator on this issue of disarmament and ending the occupation of the Israelis to our south, and also to the ceasefire that we are expecting to have the soonest in Lebanon. But no connection has been going on with the Israelis. It's definitely not through the Iranians that we're trying to do. Although the Iranians, they have a strong connection with Hezbollah, but for us, at this point in time, the government is trying to push through a peace process or negotiation process to be more specific. And this negotiations is only through the legitimate representative of the Lebanese people, which is the Lebanese state.
Now, my question to you, sir, is that we've already seen one round of failed talks. What is Lebanon willing to keep on the table to ensure that these talks don't fail?
Well, there was no talks until today by the Lebanese. There have been some negotiation and talks between the Iranians and the Americans, but Lebanon was not part of this negotiation. Our negotiation, or the first preparation for the negotiation, starts today, and we are hoping that we will be able to confirm with the Americans to have a ceasefire from the Israeli side soon, so we can resume the negotiations on the other issues. But we were not part of any negotiations earlier than today.
Now, Lebanon, Israel, and US have issued conflicting statements on what the talks would cover. Can we at all be hopeful for any kind of a ceasefire?
I think the president's own initiative for having a direct negotiation with the Israelis was conditioned by having a ceasefire. We cannot, as Lebanese, go on with any negotiations under the fire of the Israelis. The condition for that is to stop the aggression towards Lebanon, and from there on, our delegation can go on with the negotiation on the Israeli withdrawal from the Lebanese territory, the return of the Lebanese people to their villages and towns in the south, the security arrangements that needs to be done to ensure the stability of the south, and other issues on that. But these are the issues that are very essential for the Lebanese to be part of the negotiations, and they are all conditioned by a ceasefire first.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim Mneimneh, for speaking to us. And a statement coming in from the Secretary of State of the United States, Marco Rubio, saying that he hopes that Israel and Lebanon will be able to arrive at an agreement when it comes to these particular talks, and hopeful that this is a historic opportunity for all to ensure that there is lasting peace over there and that they move forward. Thank you so much for joining us, sir, this evening.